Hey basketball guys, we have news. Let's go to more Los Angeles Lakers news, but first don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your like. Lakers fans have great admiration for Austin Reaves and want him to stay in the purple and gold for a long time. But the Lakers always have the goal of being champions, and the last title was in 2020, and being a cameo player next season would crown LeBron James' retirement. For the Lakers to bring in a star, they will need to trade Austin Reaves. There are several teams interested in the player, but the Los Angeles Clippers, New York Knicks and Utah Jazz want Austin Reaves. Lakers fans scared by Los Angeles Clippers' interest in Austin Reaves. The Game Theory podcast, featuring NBA pundit/host Sam Vecenie, did an entire episode dedicated to the Lakers' musings and all things surrounding the franchise at the moment. Naturally, the topic of Austin Reaves came up in conversation. With Luka Doncic off limits in virtually any trade talks, Reaves is undoubtedly the best young asset on the team. He's also currently on arguably the best deal in the league, making only $13.9 million this year with a player option worth a meager $14.8 million in 2026-27. When breaking all of these aspects down, a potential trade was bandied about featuring none other than the Dallas Mavericks. He is a top 40 player in the league, something like that. I think he is so good, I think he is a monster. He has 1 year left on his contract before he gets quite expensive here. He is going to get very, very expensive moving forward. Is there anything around just Derek Lively, who has played with Luka, who we know has great synergy with Luka, for Austin Reaves? It would be a tough pill to swallow for the fan base and the front office to deal Reaves. He's considered a homegrown success story after going undrafted and emerging as one of the better young shot creators in basketball. This past year, Reaves averaged a career-high 20.2 PPG in his fourth NBA season. For as good as Reaves is getting to the line and scoring the basketball, his prowess on the defensive end of the floor remains a real issue. The Lakers are faced with extending Reaves on a deal that will likely pay him close to, if not more than, $40 million annually. Once LeBron James retires, a big chunk of the financial cap will be earmarked for two players, Reaves, Luka Doncic, who are very poor on the defensive end of the floor. Now, the Lakers could very well still win with these two as core fixtures. The rest of the lineup would likely have to be highly athletic and defensive-minded. Lakers must avoid long-time target at all costs this offseason. The Los Angeles Lakers are headed to the offseason with significant holes they need to fill. The most notable of them is their massive need at center. While the Lakers will desperately try to get a starting caliber center on the trade market, they will also attempt to build out a better depth than last season. That means strengthening the bench that left them astray down the stretch last season. Their lack of solid bench options forced head coach J.J. Redick to play a tight rotation in the playoffs, resulting in the Lakers running out of gas against the Timberwolves. Since the Lakers are financially constrained, they will have to rely on team-friendly deals and minimum contracts. Fortunately, Los Angeles is a premium destination, and the Lakers are a desirable organization, allowing the team to have the upper hand in free agent negotiations. The latest example was Chris Paul's declaration that he wants to play in Los Angeles to end his career. CP3's family lives in LA, making the Lakers a very attractive landing spot for the 40-year-old hitting free agency. Lakers should stay away from signing Chris Paul in free agency. Paul and LeBron James' friendship makes this a likely scenario, but the Lakers would be wise to stay away from the future Hall of Famer. Yes, the point guard is still a valuable player, and he is coming off a season where he played all 82 games for the Spurs. In limited minutes, he is still a difference maker. However, his fit in Los Angeles is highly questionable. Paul is a small guard who is a defensive liability at this stage of his career. He lacks the size, length, and athleticism to hold his own on the defensive end of the floor. The Lakers are already small and under-athletic, and can't add any more perimeter players of the same mold. Offensively, Los Angeles doesn't need what CP3 brings to the table. The Lakers have Austin Reaves, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic running the show, allowing them to have at least 2 high-level shot creators and playmakers on the floor at all times. Paul would be redundant among that group. The Lakers are better off looking elsewhere in free agency, prioritizing size, defense, and athleticism. Lakers reportedly worked out multiple center prospects. The Los Angeles Lakers know that they need a center who is better than Jackson Hayes on the roster next year. Even though Hayes played some of the best basketball of his career, it wasn't good enough. Los Angeles was eliminated in the first round of the playoffs in large part because of how poor their defense was. They weren't able to stop the Timberwolves from scoring easy buckets. Getting a rim protector who is just decent on offense is going to be their top priority this summer. Whether it be in free agency or through the draft, they need more depth at center. The Lakers are working out multiple draft prospects at the center spot. Los Angeles is widely expected to pursue a center in free agency or in a trade, but that doesn't mean that they won't bring one in with a draft pick. In fact, the Lakers worked out multiple center draft prospects, including Indiana center Omer Ballo. They also had Clifford Amari in for a workout, as well. Both of those centers play the same way. They are guys who can catch lobs and run to the rim at an elite level. They are also fairly solid defensively, but neither of them has much of a ceiling offensively. The Lakers will likely still try to bring in a more accomplished center who has actually played in the NBA this summer. They don't have much depth, though, so drafting one wouldn't be a bad idea either. Los Angeles still has some other holes to fill on the roster. They could use some better perimeter defenders on the team who they think can close games. Of course, the center position is still the top priority to fix for the Lakers. They are still one of the teams with the highest ceilings in the West next season because they have LeBron James and Luka Doncic. Either way, they need to get a center who can grow with Doncic and accentuate what he does well. That is what Rob Pelinka will be searching for. Nuggets predicted to trade star forward in 3-team mock trade involving Lakers, Nets. NBA trade rumors have begun to heat up with the offseason right around the corner as teams look to upgrade their roster this summer. One team that has seen their fair share of trade rumors is the Denver Nuggets, who may end up making some moves this summer after being eliminated in the second round of the playoffs for the second consecutive season. Of course, the Nuggets are trying to capitalize on Nikola Jokic's prime as they try to win another championship, but they may need to retool their roster around the 3-time MVP to become contenders once again. Because of this, many of the Nuggets players have been in trade rumors, but the main one that continues to talked about is their star forward Michael Porter Jr. Porter Jr. put together a career-best season this year, but with Denver lacking assets, he could be their main part of a package to upgrade their roster. With this in mind, Sports Illustrated's Liam Willerup recently proposed a 3-team mock trade that includes the Nuggets, Los Angeles Lakers and Brooklyn Nets. In the trade, Willerup has Denver receiving Dalton Knecht and Rui Hachimura, Los Angeles receiving Nicholas Claxton and Brooklyn receiving Porter Jr. and a 2031 first-round pick via the Lakers. Brooklyn Nets center Nick Claxton takes a rebound away from Toronto Raptors guard Ochai Agbaji during their game at Scotiabank Arena on March 25, 2024. This is an interesting trade, but one that could benefit all 3 teams involved. For the Lakers, they would complete their goal of adding a new starting center and they would receive a solid one in Claxton. For the Nets, they would add a potential star in the making in Porter Jr. who would finally be the focal point on offense. Denver would also add some key pieces with Hachimura taking over Porter Jr.'s spot while also adding a young bench piece in Knecht to upgrade their second unit offensively. While this trade may work well for all the teams involved, the Nuggets have expressed no interest in moving on from Porter Jr. this summer, but they may have to if they want to become title contenders once again. Lakers have painfully obvious offseason decision with LeBron still on their roster. The idea of LeBron James leading the charge for this Los Angeles Lakers team for at least one more season undoubtedly has an exciting and promising ring to it. After all, the man has already won the franchise an NBA championship during his tenure and is coming off yet another impressive all-around campaign where he averaged 24.4 points, 8.2 assists, 7.8 rebounds, and 1.0 steals on 51.3% shooting from the floor and 37.6% shooting from deep while guiding the club to the 3rd seed out west. However, Coinciding with the positive spin of the King making his return for year number 23 is an undertone of slight pessimism, as his presence on the roster guarantees that Los Angeles will approach the upcoming offseason with an all-in mentality for 2025-26. Return of LeBron James all but guarantees Lakers are still all in. Though it may sound a bit strange to talk down on the idea of a team eyeing a title push, even with top-billed superstars like LeBron and Luka Doncic in the mix, this past postseason proved the Lakers are still rather far away from legitimately vying for the Larry O'Brien Trophy. On top of the fact that they were just shellacked by the Minnesota Timberwolves during their gentleman's sweep first-round exit, this aging Los Angeles squad will have to find a way to be better than the always menacing Warriors, the rising Houston Rockets, and the seemingly ready-to-take-the-leap San Antonio Spurs next season. And this is all before even mentioning the current Western Conference champs in the OKC Thunder. Now, considering Doncic is still only 26 years old and is expected to agree to terms on a new multi-year pact to remain in LA for the foreseeable future, one could realistically make the case that the Lakers are also a team that could consistently find themselves competing for ultimate glory moving forward. The best way for them to capitalize on this would be to focus on developing their younger talents on the roster and utilize their remaining draft capital to add more promising prospects around Doncic. Unfortunately, however, with James a virtual lock to come back next year, any youthful ballers they may have, and whatever remains of their rather shallow pool of draft picks, will likely be used in some splashy summer trade to bring on the proper assets to upgrade their roster in the now. That means Dalton Knecht will probably be offloaded this offseason, for real this time, along with the rights to swap for their 2028 first-round pick and the full rights to their 2031 first-round pick as Rob Pelinka and company attempt to give LeBron one final chance to add another ring to both his and the Lakers' already illustrious collection. While on the one hand, such an agenda may be somewhat exciting for Los Angeles's faithful followers, especially in the immediate future, on the other, there's an argument to be made that parting ways with even more assets that could help smooth the inevitable transition of a post-LBJ era is the wrong move to make. Lakers receive unfortunate news on potential Mavericks trade. The Los Angeles Lakers' biggest priority this offseason will be to upgrade their frontcourt. It would be an added bonus if it was a big man Luka Doncic has played with before. One big man they could target is Dallas Mavericks center Daniel Gafford. In a recent article, Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report proposed a hypothetical deal that reunites Doncic and Gafford in LA. It actually would make sense as the Mavericks' frontcourt will likely be crowded. Along with Gafford, they will presumably enter the 2025-26 season with Anthony Davis, Cooper Flagg, and Derek Lively too. But would the Mavericks agree to another trade with the Lakers after the massive backlash they got for trading Doncic there at the trade deadline? Jovan Buha of The Athletic revealed the Mavericks would have a steep price for the Lakers to pry him away from them. He detailed on his Buha's Block show what the Lakers would have to give up, which he believes is more than they should. They probably have to overpay, Buha said. It would probably have to be something like Gabe, Vincent, Dalton, Knecht, and a first-round pick for Gafford. And that's a lot. This is unfortunate news for a Lakers team already low on assets. That said, they are coming off being a first-round exit on the NBA playoffs, and only have so much time left with LeBron James. Gafford's not a star, but he would be much better than who LA had in its frontcourt. During the 2024-25 season, Gafford averaged 12.3 points, 6.8 rebounds, and 1.8 blocks while shooting 70.2% from the field. Add in his familiarity with Doncic, and he might just be worth an overpay. Lakers linked with perfect Jackson Hayes replacement. As the Los Angeles Lakers get ready for the offseason to fully get underway, the front office's first priority must be on landing a center. Los Angeles doesn't have a starting caliber center on the roster currently, and upgrading across the frontcourt is a must for this team. While the Lakers have been linked with multiple players, they are realistically limited in what they can do. Due to a lack of tradable assets, Los Angeles will need to hone in on a few targets that they can land. One of those players is center Goga Bitadze of the Orlando Magic. Due to the financial constraints that Orlando has, Bitadze could be a cap casualty, and the Lakers could explore a deal. NBA cap expert Yossi Goslan spoke about Orlando potentially looking to dump the salary of Bitadze this offseason. Don't be surprised if they trade Goga Bitadze or Anthony Black and just dump them and get some picks back. They're at the point where they need to decide who their top 5 to 6 guys are within this cap environment. The Magic are already dangerously close to that situation starting next year, Goslan said. Bitadze may be better served as a backup center for the Lakers, but it would be a good start. But Los Angeles could also use him as the starter as well. The Lakers were also mentioned as a landing spot for the Magic Center on the Game Theory podcast featuring Bryce Simon and Sam Vecenie. The two proposed a deal that would send Bitadze to Los Angeles, along with former guard Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Orlando is the team that I thought of for sure here. Orlando looking at this like, okay, we can get off the Kentavious Caldwell-Pope money, use the Goga Bitadze deal, and we could do something like Rui and Gabe Vincent for KCP and Goga Bitadze. You'll have to add value in somewhere, maybe Connect is the value piece there as opposed to the 2031 first, Vecenie said. If Los Angeles views Bitadze as the best option for the summer, they could make a hard push to land him. Bitadze is scheduled to make $8.3 million next year, giving the Lakers a decent chance to make a deal possible. Last season, the center averaged 7.2 points, 6.6 rebounds, 2.0 assists, and 1.4 blocks per game. Bitadze has been a very popular name among fans, but his fit with the team does make a lot of sense.